Peace and y'all bless. Y'all's a strong one. The strong one is Yah. He's the tree of life. He's the fountain of living waters. He is the spirit and creator of all things that live and breathe. In the name of the true God and the only God, and there are no other gods that exist, is Yah. Psalms 68:4. Go there and read. Okay, you'll see the divine name. It only tells you how it's pronounced. Later on, you find out how to spell it. YHWH in English. Yod, Heh, Wah, Heh. Those are the consonant sounds, right? In the Hebrew dialect. That being said, you guys obviously see what's going on in the United States as far as all these protests dealing with Mr. George Floyd and what occurred. Now, there are different vantage points that you can look at on that video, okay? Because, as I said, they do have all kinds of crisis actors and things out here they can, make illusions with that look real that are not real. And naturally it will cause people to go out and start, rioting and protesting, looting, some of them, right? Okay? So you have to be careful what you're looking at. Everything's not real. In this particular case, it could be real. And if it was, then it was. All right? But we are not discouraged by it. The one thing that I would say to black people in general, my people, right, is that, we do concentrate too much on loving and worrying about diversity with these other nations. See, the thing with the Old Testament teaches you is that the other nations are actually your enemies. Now, you can read through this book of remembrance and know that. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean that we don't, socialize with them or hang out with them or become friends with them. Sometimes we marry them, et cetera, okay? We're captives in this land of captivity, right? The new Egypt, or what they call the daughter of Babylon. Jeremiah 50:51, also Isaiah 13:14. Okay? The daughter of Babylon, the new Egypt, right? Where we are today. Our ancestors was in the old Egypt, okay? The old captivity, all right? But we do spend a great amount of time worrying about diversity, okay? Which diversity is not bad. It's not a bad thing. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. What I'm saying is don't forget what happened to your ancestors. Don't forget what happened on those slave ships when they raped black women. And by the way, black woman, they hung your tail on trees too, right alongside next to the black man, for all y'all who don't remember that. Because some of you black women, y'all just straight coons, man. Okay? Coons and bed wenches. You know what a bed wench is? Okay? It's basically a whore, okay, for, other races. Okay? They just use y'all as whores. That's what a bed wench is. They had it back in the slavery days. And they still have that same mentality, most women today, okay? Because as we can see, there's a power shift going on in this world right now, and everybody can feel it, okay? They can feel it. The whole world can feel it, because the black man is going back to the top where he belongs, where he was always there. If you know your history, black people, we ruled a long time, even in Europe, man. Even in what they call Britain today, we ruled a lot of that stuff, man. Okay? We were always in rulership. We only lost the rulership because we would not obey Yah, the God of Israel, okay? That's the only reason why we lost our rulership. Dark people always ruled the earth. Now, check this out right here. On the flip side of that, black people, or what you would call a derivative of black people, still rule the earth today, called Amalekites. Yes, they are the brothers of the Hebrew Israelites, right? Coming out of Esau, call themselves, there are different divisions of Edomites, but they still come out of Esau, called Amalekites, who rule the top of the triangle. That's right. A very hidden fact people don't even know about. Okay? But anyway, right here in front of you see this photo from 1921, the Tulsa Massacre. Now, I'm not going to call it race riots. Okay? That was like 1968. This was a massacre where the Caucasian race got all together. They saw that blacks were progressing in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? Right here in my own home state, right? 2 hours away, right? They saw us progressing as a people. If you go through and you look at all the things that was in Tulsa, wherever this was located in Tulsa, these black people was doing it, man. They had their own stores, own businesses, a whole black owned everything all through there. But they were progressing. And in America, dealing with race, when these Caucasian races and many other races see us progressing as a people, not as individual wealth, because your Michael Jordans and your Oprah Winfrey's and your Tyler Perry's, that's not a threat to them. Okay? Because that's called individual wealth. That is not a threat. Okay? Because those people are generally under control through the top of the triangle, the lodge, whatever the case is, right? Okay? So individual wealth is no threat to any race. It's when we start combining that individual wealth that these sort of things like what you see in front of you happen. Okay, that happened in 1921 in Tulsa, right? That's when these things start happening because they don't like to see us start combining that wealth. When that wealth starts getting combined, it becomes a threat to their white supremacy system, okay? And when you start threatening that system, then naturally, you know what I mean? Things like this, what you see in front of you, do and will happen, okay? And like I said, there's nothing wrong with being diverse, okay? I've been diverse for a long time, okay? There's nothing wrong with diversity. It's just that you have to remember your people. You got to remember how to be black. You got to remember where you came from. You got to remember that your father was black and that your mother was black. You know, even as we go date these different races, right? Or whatever the case is. Okay? You can't forget where you come from and where we come from as a people. You can't forget who the true God is. You have to remember him. All right? Because he does what? He comes to prove us. Okay, verse number 20. Okay, here in Exodus chapter 20. And Moses said unto the people, fear not, for God is come to prove you. You hear that? God is come to prove you, right? And that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. You hear that? God has come to prove you. Okay? So some of these things that occur out here, things that are real, some things that are not real, God comes to prove us as a people. He wants to see what we're about, man. Have we learned our lesson from this captivity, this long 400 years? Have we learned our lesson? Yes or no? He comes to prove us. He comes to find out. So sometimes he allows those sort of things to happen because he comes to prove us. Because these other races, man, all they're going to do, they always talk diversity, but their talking ain't nothing but smooth words, man. Like it tells you in Psalms verse 55-21. Let's read it. Okay? Talking about our enemies. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, right? But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So in other words, to these races talk diversity, they talk smooth to us, man. Oh, we love black people, no problem. But in their heart, what? They drawing swords out. Okay? And even some of our own people drawing swords out with smooth words, right? All right. So you gotta be careful with these people with these smooth words, man. Smooth as butter, right? But war is in their heart. Okay? The words are soft as oil, but yet they drawing swords, man. Okay? This is drawing swords. Okay? What happened to Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin? Okay? And now George Floyd and many others. And to our black ancestors, they talked smooth to them, but they drew swords, man. Because in America, they don't want to see us prosper as a people together, no matter how diverse we are with them. Okay? No matter how diverse we are with them. See, they try to train y'all's mind with mind control with this diversity talk, but in their heart, see, that's that drawing swords thing. See, diversity is them talking smooth as butter, right? But in their heart is war. You hear that? In their heart is war. Okay? They draw swords, man. I've been going through that for the last 3 or 4 years now. Okay? So it's very important that you all understand and know this, okay? Yah has come to prove you guys. Because it's time for us to go back to the top of the world, and we're going to do just that. But we can't do it unless we call upon the name of the true God, whose name is Yah, YHWH in English, Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh in the Hebrew dialect. Okay, that's how you say the consonants, Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh. Okay, Yah. Okay, and it's just Yah. All right? But God comes to prove us as a race, man. That's why he allows these sort of things to happen to our people, man. Peace-loving black people came and burnt their whole entire infrastructure down to the ground. Tulsa, Oklahoma, right here where I live, back in 1921. These black people wasn't bothering nobody. But their adversaries, their enemies, the Most High calls it in this Old Testament, this book of remembrance. Our enemies, just about every race out there, what do? Okay? Come in and burn our whole infrastructure down. Even though these people weren't bothering anyone. Okay? Here in Tulsa, Oklahoma City. They just saw them progressing as a people, putting their resources together as a people, and they didn't like that. Okay? But our people ought to be ashamed of ourselves. That we can't put our resources together and do it, peacefully. And especially not here in America. We have to return home to Israel. And we on the cusp of returning home. Because the 400 years has now expired. That's what all this stuff is all about. I keep trying to get through to you guys and tell you guys that. Now, when you go to Psalms 83, it tells you just this thing. Listen, Psalms 83, open your Bible up. Listen very closely to what I'm about to say. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult like a noise, right? They that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. You hear that? Crafty counsel against thy people. And consulted against the hidden ones. Talking about the children of Israel, black people, right? They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance, okay? This is what they did and what they have been doing with our people the whole entire time. They have consulted together with one consent, right? They are confederate against thee. That means they're all together against thee. Then the Most High names all the nations that are against us. The Edomites are our main enemy. Okay, the Ishmaelites, okay, yes, all you people in the nation of Islam, the Ishmaelites are our enemies too. The Moabites are our enemies, the Hagarenes, Gibal, Ammon, which is another faction of Moabites, right? Okay, Amalek, top of the triangle, okay, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, right? Assur is also joined with them. Okay? All right? They have hope in the children of Lot. In other words, they was helping these two cats here, the children of Lot, Moabites and the Ammonites. Okay? The Most High is telling you who your enemies are. That covers about every nation out here, doesn't it? The Muslims, everybody. The Moabites, okay? Talking about Chinese and all them, right? Japan, North Koreans, South Koreans, Taiwanese, anybody in general. Okay? And what have they said in their hearts? Okay? What did they say? Who have said, let us take ourselves the houses of God in possession. Talking about the land of Israel. Okay? Now this is what they were saying back in the day, but they still say these things today. Okay? That's what the Most High told me. Keep not thou silence. Most High said, don't be quiet, O God, right? Hold not thy peace, right? All right? And be not still, O God, all right? Most High said, man, speak to your people and let them see why these things have taken place. See, they took crafty counsel against our people. All right? All these nations together. That's why you've been shut down for the last 3 or 4 months. They took crafty counsel together against Yah's anointed, me. Okay? Been doing it for the last 3 or 4 years for the many people who've seen me in person. And many people know this already. And not just me, but against black people in general, because they don't want to see us go back to the top of the world as a people. They don't care about individuals. They care about us becoming strong as a people, especially under the true God whose name is Yah. Now, if you're talking about all that idolatry, they don't mind that. You know what I mean? Jesus and Muhammad and Krishna and Buddha, all that. You talking about that, okay, cool. But when you start talking about Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, Yah, the Holy One of Israel, Psalm 68:4, then that becomes a problem to them. Okay? But I'm just showing you how they had this plan way back here, long time ago, to crush that name of Israel. Then what did they do? The Edomites come back and come into the land and call themselves Israel. See there? This was the plan the whole time, for them to crush the name of Israel, that it be no more in remembrance, and then come back into the land, 1947, calling themselves Israel. That's why black people today don't know that they Israel. They are surprised when they hear it, because they don't read the Old Testament. They're too busy reading the New Testament, talking about what? A white man of all people is going to save them. When the white man said what? No. Let's crush them. Take that name of Israel, that it be no more remembrance. See there? Took us into that 400 years of slave trade. And we definitely wasn't calling ourselves no Israel. Matter of fact, we wasn't calling ourselves Israel again until like 1897. And then when they first heard us calling ourselves Israel, I'm talking about that was in a black church, right? Okay. Then that's when they launched the Theodore Herzl launched that Zionist movement. All right. And began concocting this plan to bring them back into the land. They caused World War I. Then they caused World War II, which ended in 1945. Then they brought the Edomites into the land in 1948, under Lord Balfour. Okay. Walter Rothschild. But you see Amalekites on that list, okay? Of all these people confederate against blacks, so-called Hebrew Israelites. When I so-called, we are Hebrew Israelites. We so-called blacks. Now remember this stuff right here, okay? Remember this right here. Do not ever forget what they did in Tulsa, Oklahoma, okay? 1921. It'd be 100 years next year around this same exact time. All right, since this massacre happened. Okay, and many more. Okay, things is going to happen. Okay, and been happening to our people. Okay, all right. But we on our way back up. We're on our return. But you guys ought to be in full support of this return back to God, back to the true God. Return back to Yah, Israel, black people, the true God, man. Who tells you in this book that he's the true God. It don't take a whole lot of research to find these things out. All right? That's why they did what? Put that white image in front of your face, your ancestors' face. Okay? And they did what? They made them worship that image. Beat it into them. Literally killed them into it. Literally, man. For real. Go do your research. We was never worshiping of Jesus, man. Okay? It's just a photo. It's a picture with a story linked to it. But if you teach it to people unbeknownst to who they are, they're going to believe that. Okay? And there ain't no black man, black Jesus either. It's only the true God who made every single being on this earth. Like I said, it's not that we're against diversity. It's just these people just, everything with diversity is just them talking smooth, man. They just saying smooth words, man. That's it. These other nations I'm talking about. But yet in their heart, they're drawing out swords, man. Okay, their words are smooth as butter. Yeah, be diverse, be diverse, be diverse. But that's not what's really in their heart. Because they don't want to see a black man actually rise back up. Not even here in my own home state, Oklahoma City. They don't want to see nothing about no black man rising back up, to prominence. But it can't be stopped. Okay? And I'm talking about none of these nations. The Edomites, nor the Ishmaelites, nor the Moabites, or any of these, Amalek. None of these nations want to see that. But it ain't nothing they can do about it lest God destroy them. And he's almost on the way to doing it right now. Okay? Very close, man. Very close. World War III is just, man, it is a hair trigger from happening. Okay? Now, I want you to remember what I just told you. Now, what does it say at the top up here? Israel's enemies, man. It don't say Israel's friends. It don't say nothing about no diversity. It says Israel's enemies, man. Okay? Remember, they've done what? They have taken crafty counsel against black people. They have consulted together against the hidden ones of Yah. Okay? And they said what? Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. Exactly. 400 years of captivity. Okay? And what do? They all consult together about these things. These top of the triangle, these elites, man. But what? Their words are going to be smooth as butter, though, right? But war is in their heart, man. Their words are softer than oil, but yet they drawing swords. Now, remember my words, my black people. Come together right now. You know what I'm saying? Over me. All right? You better come together. Because when we get home, we have to be one people again. We got to learn to tolerate each other. The black woman, you got to attach yourself back to the black man. That's the book. These white men and all these other races are not going to run through the black woman when we get back to Israel. It's not going to happen. God has already sanctioned it. It's in this book. Okay? The Minor Prophets. Okay? Now, those who've already attached yourself to one, well, I'm not sure what's going to happen to you. We'll have to just see what's going to happen with that situation. We just know within the Minor Prophets it's spoken about that these other nations are not going to run through our women no more, like they did in the transatlantic slave trade. Yeah, that's where a whole bunch of light-skinned black people came from. Anyway, we probably mostly dark peoples, throughout history. Okay. We didn't really get lighter-skinned blacks until these other nations really started running through our people. Okay? All right. So even with the nations that cleave unto us and come back to us, or come back with us, whatever the case is, all that's going to happen with them, they're going to serve the children of Israel. Okay? That's all that's going to happen with them. Okay? They're going to serve us. We're not going to serve them no more when we get back to the land. Okay? That's the book of Isaiah, right? We're not going to serve them no more. They're going to serve us, man. See? Okay? You got to have ruling class mentality, man. I've been over that before. Ruling class, because we're going to be the ruling class of the earth, man. You got to learn how to, have poise, man. Okay? And know how to rule, man. You can't get in front of these other nations around you hollering diversity. No, we're gonna rule over them. We're not going to oppress them. But we are going to rule over them. That's the book right here, Isaiah 14. Open your book up to it. Okay? And I'm going to read this and I'm gone. Okay? For Yah will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And check it out. And the strangers shall be joined with them. Okay? So, they're going to latch on to us, right? Okay? In other words, they just following the book, right? And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Now listen, okay? And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. The house of Israel will possess, keyword, we're going to possess them in the land of the Lord, the land of Yah. We're going to possess them for what? For servants and handmaids. They're going to work for us, okay? And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, okay? And they shall rule over their oppressors. Okay? When what? Okay? And it shall come to pass, listen carefully. And it shall come to pass in that day, the Yah shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. Okay, all the sorrows we've been through. All these black women, their sons have died, okay? From this police brutality. The Most High gonna give us rest from that sorrow, right? And from thy fearing for their son's life every day, every night, right? On these streets, right? And what else? And from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve by God. God made us serve this 400 years. Okay? Because we hard-headed people, stiff-necked people, as this book of remembrance tells us that. Okay? But all these things, all these calamities, you don't have to worry about Black Lives Matter. It's going to come to an end when the Exodus is triggered for us to go back home, black people. Okay? You don't have to worry about protesting. Y'all gonna settle all that, man. Okay? He gonna give us rest from this sorrow and from fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve here these 400 years of captivity due to the sins of our forefathers and our own also. Okay? Because what's going to happen to America? We're going to do what? I'm not sure if it's going to be while we're here or whenever we actually return back home. Listen to verse number 4. Thou shalt take up what? We're going to take up a proverb against the king of Babylon. That's the president, right? Whoever it might be, right? And say, how have the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Talking about America. One day it's going to cease, man. Okay? Because the Most High is going to do what? Himself. Yah, the God, right? Have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He's going to break their power over us. Okay? All right? And we're going to go back home. And the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. People are going to be glad about it when they see it happen. Okay? Very crucial things is going to take place. And who's going to be one of the nations to break America? It's going to be the Medes, man. Okay? Yeah, them Iranians. They're going to break America. Trust and believe what I'm trying to tell you. The Most High said, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, talking about the daughter of Babylon, right? And they're not going to regard silver, and as for gold, they're not going to delight in it. But them arrows, them bows and arrows, right? Talking about nuclear missiles, right? ICBMs, whatever it might be. Okay? They're going to dash the young men to pieces, and they should have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes should not spare children. They're not going to care. Okay, when it comes time for this burden of Babylon, okay, the daughter, the new Babylon, when it comes time for that to happen, the Medes, Iran, they're not going to have no mercy. I just want to tell you guys some things, man. All right? Like I said, as long as we have separated wealth among black individuals, it's not a threat. But the minute we get together and start combining our wealth together, here's what happens. Because they didn't want to see black people flourish like that together and be at peace. But we're going to be at peace, man. Not long from now. Okay? when Yah takes us back to our land, when he returns us back where we come from. Like I showed you guys in this map. See right here? We came from Israel right there. It shows you right there, pointing right to Israel. What they call the state of Israel today, pointing right there. Then we went to Africa, right? West Africa. Then we went, all these other places, including North America in 1619. That proves Genesis chapter 15 about the 400 years, right? But we are all over the place. See that? Okay? And I'm going to do a video about lineage. Look out for it, okay? Here in a couple days, all right? All right, we're going to go home, man. We're going to return back home one of these days. And there ain't going to be no more fear. Okay? But you guys got to be praying for it to happen. Okay? We're going to go back home. And here's how Israel is going to look in the future. Whenever we partition the land correctly, the way it's supposed to be partitioned amongst the 12 tribes of Israel, man. Our land, our homeland always was and always will be. Okay? This is how it's gonna, this is the final version of what's gonna happen. And then we're gonna start bringing everybody back home through this mighty exodus that Yah himself is gonna put on before the whole entire world. Jeremiah chapter 23, right? And many other places, not just Jeremiah. I just showed you Isaiah 14. How they're gonna return us back to the house. They're gonna take us back, man. Okay? They have to take us back. Okay? Most I tell you right here in Jeremiah. Okay. Therefore, behold, what the days come, saith Yah, that they shall say no more, Yah liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. So that old Exodus ain't gonna be talked about no more. Okay. But we're gonna be saying what? Yah liveth, which brought up and led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, North America, right? Okay. And keyword, from all countries, whether he had driven us, okay? And we shall dwell in our own land, right here. Just like that. That's your future, Black America. Get ready for it. I love you, Black people. Yakai.